You are listening to KC Sports Network, the #1 podcast network for today's Kansas City sports fans. With former players from your favorite teams, informed perspectives, and former insiders, this is the place for you. KC Sports Network is proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
Welcome, everybody, to the Border War podcast on the Kansas City Sports Network. We're presented by 360 Vodka. My name is Jarrett Sutton. I'm joined, as always, by Jeff Hawkins. Jeff, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Here we are, Thanksgiving week. Exciting time right now. Holiday season.
It is. A lot of basketball, time to eat. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm trying to figure out my workout plan for how much I'm going to eat.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's a veteran move right there.
But that's great, man. Here to talk some Mizzou basketball, baby. It's a good time for basketball. Get to hang out, relax. Thanksgiving break, see some basketball. It's an exciting time, man.
Exciting time. Mizzou 5-0. It's wild to see where this team is at compared to where they were 5 games into the year last year.
Yeah.
Those offensive numbers are jumping out. We'll start with some exciting news. Hodge named SEC Player of the Week. Was great in their last game against Mississippi Valley State. He had 18 points, but he's really kind of carried the charge for Mizzou over the last couple games. Averaged 24 a game last week, 5 rebounds, but had 5 steals as well. And we've talked about Demoy quite a bit. And the term we always say is 3-and-D, which can be overused. You know. It can be kind of a vague term, but he kind of fits the role. I mean, he defends. He's great on the ball. He makes shots, and he can score it off catch and rip drives, straight line drives. And look, he's an older player, but he had 30 against SIU. You have a 30 piece. That's a great sign for Mizzou fans of, just what they're getting from a guy that I think is kind of their third, fourth option within their offense long term. When you look at Kobe Brown and Isaiah Mosley, Hodge is really just jumping on the scene here for Mizzou. And Dennis Gates has talked about it. He recruited him at Florida State. So he always is kind of trying to express, like, look, I know Hodge came from Cleveland State, but this kid can really score it.
Yeah, and he's a senior veteran, lengthy 6'4" guard. I mean, Hodge is. You guys have so many weapons. I mean, for real, you guys got weapons, dude. Like, you guys have so many weapons, Jared.
When was the last time we were saying this? We're like embracing it. Like, I guess we do for sure.
But that's a good thing, though. But Hodge is, he's averaging 17 a game. Can, like, you talk about that 3-and-D. We don't like to overuse it, but we're not overusing it. Like, he really fits the term. And when you have a guy that can shoot off the catch, that can get to the paint, that can guard, and he's 6'4", and he's a senior. So this is a guy that's, that's been there almost, what you can say, and done that as far as I've put in the work. So Missouri fans have to be very excited about the production, and you guys have other guys that can go as well. But Hodge he's been getting it done, and he knows, coming from Cleveland State, he knows what to expect from the coach. And I think when you have a player that knows what to expect from the coach and knows how to carry it out effectively, great things can happen, because other players see that as well too, and then they try to do it so they can be on the coach's good side as well too. But he knows what Coach Gates is wanting to do.
No question. I think when you look at this team too, Hodge is leading them in scoring on the season through 5 games, 17 a game, 52% from the field, 82 from the line, 36 from 3. Really good numbers. He's averaging close to 3 steals a game. So, again, a guy that's not, when you coming into the year, you didn't think this guy's going to be our top scorer, our top player, because you have Kobe Brown and you have Isaiah Mosley, and there's some other guys sprinkled in here that can really make this team dangerous. But I look at just the balance. Missouri's right now averaging 90 points a game. And so they can score. They're shooting 49% from the field. Their 3-point percentage is 34%. I thought that'd be a little bit higher. So the fact that they're scoring 90 a game, and I still think that they've had some good shooting nights. They've also had some nights where they haven't made shots. So you think they're scoring 90, the ball movement, the passing, Nick Honor had 6 assists in their last game. They're taking care of the ball for the most part, not turning it over. It's a really good sign of look. They so much is made about they haven't played anybody, and we talked about this last week.
Man, what does that mean anymore? Like, I'm sorry, what does that mean, dude? Like,
well, it's just always
they haven't played anybody. Like,
we talked about this, a little bit ago about just yourself as a coach. We played during our times as players. There are games where we were projected to win by 25 points, 20 points, and we'd win by 7, and it'd be a close game, and everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, what's the problem?" And it's like, there is no problem. That team's a really good team. That it's in November, and people want to write off teams, and you really can't around this time of year. You never know what you're going to get. So for Mizzou to be 5-0 and winning games, in convincing fashion, and yes, Missouri, Mississippi Valley State 1-5, 1-4 now. There is a little bit of a conversation there, but
they're playing great for their coach. Man.
Exactly. I look at it as, when teams have won 3-4 games and their offensive numbers are through the roof, and you look at who they've played, and they're not your standard, blue blood teams or teams that you're used to seeing, then they get tested and they struggle. And it's sort of like, well, they didn't play. That's where this conversation goes. Mizzou's got some games ahead that we've talked about, right? They got Kansas, they got Illinois. When they get into league play, it's Kentucky, it's Arkansas. They have State, they have UCF. So it's coming. But the reality is that their offense has been really consistent and pretty efficient for the most part as a team.
Yeah. And I think that's what you have to, like I talk about. They're playing hard for their coach, and they offensively, you guys are really good. So you look at the competition and you can say we're just getting better and we're building up into where we need to be. Once it gets deep into that season, that schedule's gonna get hot. I'd rather my guys, my guys be able to come in as a fresh new coach, come in with good confidence, allowing them, like, they're allowed to play loose. Like, they are allowed to play loose and free and not think. And this is under a new coach. So to me, that stuff matters, man, because these guys they're believing in my system. I would be thinking as a coach, they're believing in my system, and they're starting to have confidence. Like, I don't care as a coach, I don't care who I'm playing. When my guys are gaining that, I can continue to build off of that. And I think that's what the Tigers are doing. They're going to continue to build off of these great moments that they're having. And offensively, you guys got scores. Like, you guys have seen, it's a different squad than what it was last year, even if they were probably playing the same schedule. Some of these scores might have not have been 30-point wins. It could have been 12-point wins. And so they have gotten better. And I think that's what, to me, the narrative needs to be the focus on, and is how they've gotten better.
No doubt. I look at, too, just from a breakdown personnel wise, and we talk about depth quite a bit. I think there's going to be 9 guys that they play consistent double-digit minutes, probably. That's subject to change, but that just looks kind of where we're going. Sean East has played really well. Aiden Shaw is a freak athlete that's really come on strong. He's shooting.
Shout out Aiden Shaw.
Aiden Shaw, big shout out. But if you look at this team too, and I mean, Aiden Shaw is that guy that, top 60 prospect, 2-time All-State. He's a freshman that's going to play, and I think Mizzou fans can rest assured. Yes, I hear all the Trevon Brazile talk of him leaving and going to Arkansas, and how that process went last year with Brazile. Aiden Shaw is going to be different. He's going to be asked to play a significant role for this team because he's got to. They're going to be small, undersized. He's too athletic, and he can really impact the game on the rim, rebounding the ball. When I look at this team, though, when we looked at them as a shooting team from 3 last year, the percentages, mostly everybody was in the 20% probably range or lower. You look at this team, Noah Carter shooting 39% from 3. We talked about Demoy shooting 36 from 3. Nick Honor shooting 44% from 3. And I told people coming in who didn't know this kid and thought of him as just as a passer, he can shoot the ball. Like
Yeah.
watching them practice, he shoots the ball, and that's why he came to Mizzou, to have more of a opportunity to showcase his offensive game. And he's doing that, and he also leads the team in assists, close to 4 games. So he's really doing a great job, I think, of just coming in, playing
Yeah.
like a veteran 5th-year senior should play. And that's, to me, exciting, is you have guard play, but you have a lot of guys that really can shoot the ball.
Yeah. When you and you talk about it, having guys that can stretch the D, it just opens up so much more. I don't even have to go into detail to that, but it just opens up everything from the bigs, the driving lanes. And this was a struggle last year for you guys, and you know that. And to be able to, like you said, shoot, what was it, 34?
34. Yep.
34% from the field. I mean, I'm with you. I thought it would be a little bit higher, but when you told me that number, I'm still like, okay. I mean, like 34. I mean, still goes to show guys are knocking down shots. Guys are stepping up. They're ready. They're confident. And when against Mississippi Valley State, they hit 10 threes. I think when you can hit 10 threes in a game and show that you can hit 10 threes in a game, and to be honest, Jared, I don't even think they weren't that hot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Still from 3. Like
Right.
they were just making routine threes at that 34% rate. A night when they get hot, this is going to be a dangerous team. You got guys shooting clear over 34%. What you say, honor student 44.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, those type of numbers, shooting from the 3, that just goes to show that ability to play free, which that coach is giving them a lot of that confidence. And guys are just stepping up and knocking shots down. And when you can do that and stretch the defense, guys have to guard you a little bit different. They have to pressure you out a little bit more, and they have to hug a little bit tighter to those shooters, which opens up those driving lanes, forces help, dump off passes, swing passes. A lot of things come from that. So kudos to Missouri for finding out that 3 ball, because I think that's going to allow them to stay in games or pull away from games.
We'll be right back here on the Border War Podcast. Welcome back to the Border War Podcast here on the Kansas City Sports Network. We're presented by 360 Vodka. Jeff, before we get out of here for Thanksgiving, we got to dive into Isaiah Mosley, because we've talked about him quite a bit and the talent he is. He had a DNP early in the year, and he was fully healthy. And I think there's been some messages that have been tried to be sent to Isaiah. There was a little bit of a conversation, and this is what fan bases do all over the country, is especially in the world we're in with the transfer portal. He's not starting, he's not playing, he's going to transfer. Oh, he's not happy, things aren't going well, and that's far from it. And you look at the Missouri Valley State game, he goes for 18 points in 20 minutes and is 7 of 14 from the field. That's what this kid can do. He can just score it in bunches, and he's efficient. 50, 40, 90 guy a year ago at Missouri State. But man, if he, didn't have somewhat of a breakout moment their last time out, I'm curious to see how he plays tonight against Coastal Carolina, and if they can continue to build, because he is the piece for me of what I'm looking at with this team right now, because he's got to be your guy to go get you one in SEC play down the road. He is that guy. That's why they brought him here. And you're seeing some things now finally clicking. He only played 20 minutes. And you're hoping that'll continue to grow in terms of him getting up to 25, 30 minutes. And again, they got a lot of guys that know, but Isaiah is just so important for this team.
Yeah, he's very important for this team. And with just his ability to be a hometown guy. So it's some pressure too that could be, on him as well too. Obviously with the new coach change and just so many pieces, and you guys being so deep. So it's good to see Isaiah starting to turn the corner. I think there were some things that, between he and the coach, they need to figure out. He needs to kind of figure out a little bit more of his role. How can he still be effective with all of this, all these weapons around? And I think he's really starting to find his niche, and I hope he continues to find his niche. And like you said, I think he's definitely a 20 to 25 minute a game guy. He's kind of showing that he's figuring things out. So it's going to be interesting to see how he continues to be incorporated into this offense. But it's like you're pulling for this guy and you want him into that rotation because it's really going to help ignite this team in so many different ways.
Yep. Another thing to talk about with this team too, with not just Isaiah, but everybody included. Isaiah did struggle with the turnovers. That should be said. He had 5 turnovers. Yeah. He's got to cut that down. Maybe try and do it a little too much, but he is, unselfish, wants to get rid of the ball. All of these guys, given they're undersized, have to defend. Yeah. And we talk about offense and their scoring and they're over 90 plus per game, but defensively they've had halves where they've struggled. And I think you could look at this Mississippi Valley State game where first half they gave up 30. They were only up 3 at the half, and they were allowing Mississippi Valley State to shoot the 3, get to the free throw line. They were pretty efficient in the first half. Second half it was a different story. They held them to 20% from 3. They were under 30% from the field, so the defense got ramped up in the second half, and they held them to 27 points, and Missouri's offense has been balanced. They've been over 40 a game pretty much each half, and they were that in this Mississippi Valley State game. The defense putting a complete game together is another thing I'm looking for, where they can put 40 minutes where you think, there it is. They played solid defensively, consistently the entire game. Not one half, not for 10 minutes. That's I think it's a little bit of a familiarity of playing, together, that a lot of these guys are all new faces. It's 10 newcomers, 11 newcomers, I think it is.
Yeah.
There is some of that, but they should not, they should be kind of hitting their stride especially with Des Hodge and Trey Gomillion, who are, Horizon, all defensive teams. Those guys got to kind of lead the charge too, in terms of putting a complete game together defensively before you get to the Kansas, the Illinois. You got to show that you can defend for 40 minutes.
Yeah. And I think this is something that they're going to continue to grow with. Obviously, with Coach Gates, I think he fully understands that. But this is obviously, I think, not just for Missouri, but a lot of teams have to figure this out as well too. At first, when you were talking, I was like, damn, are we talking about the Jayhawks here? Because they struggle putting together, a full game. So I think this is a team that they just have to continue to grow, and as long as they can make sure that they're putting, I think, at least a half and a half, if they can try to put, at least good solid 30 minutes at least of playing on, strong on both ends of the floor and continue to go up from that, I think they'll continue to get in that right progression. But that's something that has to be a point of emphasis, playing a full game, because when you start getting deep into that schedule, when you're playing really tough competition, you're gonna have to bring your A game a lot of the time, if you definitely want to make sure that you're knocking some of those guys off.
They get Coastal Carolina tonight. We're recording Wednesday morning, so Wednesday night, right here before Thanksgiving, they get Coastal Carolina. Then they play Saturday morning against Houston Baptist.
Basketball.
They got about two games where they're the games are predicted to win. They got to fine tune some stuff. Then next Tuesday they go to Wichita State, and it's their first true road game. And Wichita State, tough place to play, tough environment, great fan base.
Yeah.
I think Mizzou fans have kind of circled that game of, hey, the hope is they're 7-0 going to Wichita State, and let's see how this team responds to a true road game, because they've been at home through this period. So, couple important games here for Mizzou around the holiday season. Jeff, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, man.
Happy Thanksgiving to our listeners as well.
Yes.
Hope everybody has a great holiday, and hopefully we're talking about a couple of Mizzou wins next week.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right, Jeff, have a good holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving. You too, man. See ya.